Welcome to this explainer. Okay, so tonight when you're lying in bed, something literally extraordinary is going to happen inside your body. The very first 90 minutes after you fall asleep actually determine a massive biological outcome. It's the deciding factor in whether your body rebuilds itself or, well, slowly breaks down. And honestly, the crazy part? The whole shebang depends entirely on what you ate for dinner.
Okay, let's dive into this. A lot of us kind of think of sleep as this totally passive state, right? Like turning off a computer or powering down some machine for the night. But what actually happens when your body's night shift clocks in? Well, sleep is a highly active process. Your brain doesn't just shut off. It actually flips a switch, taking your entire system out of daily operation mode and throwing it right into heavy construction mode.
Section 1. The Midnight Construction Site. Your body's night shift.
Every single night, our bodies run this incredibly intricate biological sequence. It's been hardwired into us since the literal dawn of humanity. Let's say you fall asleep at 10 p.m. By 10:45, you're dropping into your first stage of slow-wave sleep. This is the absolute deepest, most restorative phase of your entire night, but it only lasts about 20 to 40 minutes. And then, right around that 60-minute mark, so 11 p.m. in our scenario, the foreman arrives. What does that actually mean? Well, it means your pituitary gland releases the single largest pulse of growth hormone your body is going to produce in a full 24-hour period. No, not during a tough workout, but right there in the first 90 minutes of sleep.
So growth hormone, or GH, acts as our site foreman. I know, you hear growth hormone and your brain probably jumps straight to pro athletes or giant bodybuilders. But it's actually this fundamental repair molecule that every single one of us needs. It directs cellular repair, it regulates metabolism. In fact, declining GH levels directly correlate with the visible signs of aging we all dread, stuff like muscle loss, creeping fat, and just a general drop in energy. Dr. Daniel Rudman showed this beautifully in a landmark 1990 study in the New England Journal of Medicine. It's absolutely central to repairing human tissue.
But here's the thing. The foreman can't build a house without materials, right? Enter amino acids. These are basically your bricks, your lumber, your essential raw materials for the job. They're the building blocks of protein. Now, here's the huge catch. When that massive growth hormone pulse fires off at midnight, it absolutely needs those amino acids already waiting in your bloodstream to start rebuilding your muscle tissue. And if they aren't there, well, your body still has a job to do, so it has to go looking for those materials somewhere else.
Section 2. The Missing Materials Problem. The Low-Protein Problem.
For decades, we've all been told that a heavy meal at night is just going to cause weight gain, right? So we eat a light salad or a tiny bowl of soup, and we go to bed feeling incredibly virtuous. But honestly, this leads to what we can call the healthy mistake. Going to sleep after just a light, carb-heavy, or super low-protein dinner literally leaves your midnight construction site completely empty. So, when your biological foreman shows up to work at that 60-minute mark, guess what? The delivery truck hasn't dropped off any building materials whatsoever.
And man, this triggers a pretty disastrous biological chain reaction. Step 1, your growth hormone fires, but there are zero materials. Now your body doesn't just pause and say, hey, we'll just wait for breakfast. Nope. Step 2 kicks in. Muscle catabolism begins. In plain English, your body literally tears down its own existing walls, your own precious muscle tissue, just to scavenge the amino acids it desperately needs. Step 3, that internal scavenging trips a huge stress alarm, elevating cortisol, which is your primary stress hormone. And finally, step 4, that low-grade overnight cortisol spike sends a signal to your body to hoard and expand deep visceral belly fat. Think about that. You are literally losing muscle and gaining belly fat while you sleep, just by skipping protein at dinner. No way we want that.
So the crucial point is this number right here, 25. There was this eye-opening study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. They found that adults who consumed less than 25 grams of protein at their evening meal showed significantly elevated markers of overnight muscle protein breakdown, especially when compared to folks getting 40 grams or more. Just 25 grams. That is quite literally the exact threshold between your body beautifully repairing itself or totally cannibalizing itself.
Section 3. Supplying the right materials. Fueling the night shift.
Let's compare the two scenarios here. A simple, light dinner with no protein basically equals muscle catabolism. You're tearing the house down. But sitting down to 35 to 50 gram protein dinner, that ensures your bloodstream has this steady, beautiful pool of circulating amino acids by the time you fall asleep. When the foreman arrives, the materials are already stacked and ready to go. This creates an active tissue synthesis phase, what we call the anabolic window. This is where your muscles rebuild, those little daily microtears are repaired, and your body literally regenerates itself.
And you know, there is an absolute superstar material for this job: casein protein. Think of it as the ultimate slow-release material drop. There was this landmark study out of Maastricht University, led by Dr. Luc van Loon. They showed that consuming 40 grams of slow-digesting casein, which you easily find in dairy stuff like cottage cheese or Greek yogurt, right before sleep is an incredibly powerful biological tool. It actually forms this gel in your stomach, releasing amino acids super gradually over 5 to 7 hours. It's like a perfectly timed IV drip that aligns exactly with your overnight repair window, all without increasing fat storage.
Section 4. The Practical Protein Blueprint. Simple steps for dinner.
Your absolute magic number to target here is 40. You want to aim for a solid minimum of 30 to 40 grams of protein at dinner. And timing definitely matters too. Ideally, you want to get this in no later than about 3 hours before bed. Why? Well, that gives your digestive system the time it needs to break things down, so those amino acids are steadily cruising into your bloodstream right as your head hits the pillow. It is perfectly timed for that 60-minute growth hormone pulse.
So what does 30 to 40 grams actually look like on a real-world plate? Well, 150 grams of salmon, which is roughly a palm-sized piece, gives you about 34 grams of protein. 2 large chicken thighs, that'll get you about 38 grams. How about 1 cup of cottage cheese paired with a couple of eggs? That easily clears the 40-gram mark. Or keep it super simple. 4 large eggs with a handful of pumpkin seeds get you well over 30 grams. The point is, you absolutely do not need fancy, expensive powders or supplements here. Real food works perfectly, because real food is exactly what your body's operating system was designed to run on. And this brilliantly illustrates our golden rule for the evening. Protein is the anchor of dinner, not the afterthought. When you're planning out your evening meal, the protein literally has to be the center of the plate, not just some optional side dish. Oh, and by the way, if you happen to be someone who eats an early dinner, say around 5 or 6 p.m., you can easily close that time gap by having a quick, small serving of slower digesting dairy, like a little cottage cheese, right before you hop into bed.
Section 5. The long-term build. Compound investments. Now, the long-term benefits of getting this right are just massive. We aren't just talking about a single night of good sleep here. We're talking about the incredible compound effect of reinforcing this biological building process over months and even years. Every single night you supply your body with adequate protein, you're making a direct investment in your lean muscle mass. And look, muscle isn't just about looking bulky at the gym. It is your primary metabolic engine for aging well. Think about it. Every pound of lean muscle burns 6 to 10 calories a day completely at rest. Maintaining that muscle leads to a higher resting metabolic rate, way lower resting insulin levels, reduced chronic inflammation, and crucially, far less of that dangerous visceral fat accumulation. It really is the absolute foundation of aging with energy and real vitality.
So I want to leave you with this final, absolutely vital question to think about. Are you feeding your repair window tonight, or are you forcing your body to tear down its own walls? Let's make protein the center of the plate this evening, all right? Give your midnight construction crew the raw materials they desperately need to do their jobs. And then, just go to sleep. Your incredible body will take care of the rest.